Hello. So, my question is regarding commitment. Following your seminars and tapping into Source, I let go of control, so I'm a recovering control freak. And I have created a beautiful life. The entrepreneur in me built 2 successful businesses. We keep growing, keep helping people. It's wonderful. Where I'm questioning is when people ask me why I do the things I do. Because in typical leadership, they say, find your why. And all these wonderful things only happened when I let go of my why. And I was just, because I can, because it feels good, because it's satisfying.
Well, that's why.
Yeah. So here's my question.
You didn't let go of your why. That is the why.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So here's my kind of segue to that, is if I'm only doing things because they feel satisfying and it's propelling my life and it's wonderful, what about commitment? Because sometimes after a first date, me. Sometimes, first day of training a new employee, me. But the patience, perseverance, and, the commitment that I make to these people, I think long term still feels good. So where's that buffer zone between the transition into the feeling good?
Well, maybe it's not as separate as you're making it out to be, as in the conversation that we just had. When you care about someone and they're experiencing something less than they want, not only do they put something in their vortex, but you put something in your vortex about them. And that's your commitment. We would like you to see your commitment as hooking up to the energy that can do something about something. We enjoyed the conversation just now so much because our friend is almost demanding, or at least he's trying to encourage Source to do what you do on behalf of someone who is asking for it. And we want you to understand that that's the commitment that Source has to you. When we say when you ask it is given, we are not kidding. But you've got to make the commitment to be in vibrational alignment with that. You see, Source is not committing to you. You'll identify what you want and then we'll do it all for you. What Source is committing to you is life out here on the leading edge helps you to define more of the leading edge life that you want, and we'll, Source, hold the vision of it. That's our commitment to you. Your commitment to Source and to the vision must be, I will find alignment with where I am going, which means I must let go of where I am. So that's what mixes people up. If your commitment has to be toward where you're going, and by commitment we mean what you think about, what you find vibrational alignment with. It can't be in opposition to it. Commitment is an interesting word to introduce into this conversation, and yet really, really, really a good one. Most people are committed under the influence of something that doesn't help. When you're committed under the influence of something that does help, you're a powerful, influential leader.
That makes perfect sense.
Yes.
So it brings me to when it comes to relationships, for example, which is funny. That's where I think why I am avoiding a romantic relationship, because life is so great, feels so good. So if I'm committed to the person.
But you see, all that's happening, let's sort this out a little bit here, because through life you've created a magnificent relationship. And we'll just give you some of the highlights. Of course, you already know it, but it's someone who continues to evolve, someone who does their own thing and allows you to do your own thing, someone who likes deliberate creation, someone who wants to be involved, someone who's mindful about the way they think, someone who's sensitive to their own emotions, somebody that's able to stay in alignment with themselves and doesn't depend upon you to create a certain condition for them to respond to. In other words, there are all kinds of things that experience that you've had with relationships has caused you to ask for. So you've created the perfect relationship, but you also have some beliefs that are in the way. Beliefs like, I'll have to compromise. Well, we didn't say anything about compromise. We talked only about harmonize. We talked only about cooperative components gathering together. But because you've had some relationships where you had to give up some of what you wanted because you didn't know then what you know now, so you're dragging forward what you didn't know then into what you do know now, but now you're changing what you do now know to what you didn't know then. Do you follow that? You didn't know it then, so you weren't good at it. You know it now, and you are good at it. But when you bring those beliefs forward, then you say, oh, this strangles me. I don't want to be dependent upon anybody or anybody to be dependent upon me. I don't want to have to ask permission or even seek cooperation. I don't want to compromise. Everybody says relationship is about compromise. Well, a relationship that is about compromise is about you being willing to be under some other influence than your own vortex and your own desire. You hear it? And if you're willing to give up the influence of your alignment to some other influence, then you're not going to be satisfied, and you're right. But you've come too far. In other words, the way we would describe you is not as someone who is not willing to have a relationship. We would describe you as someone who's not willing to have the kind of relationships that you've had before. And we would describe you as someone who has created an entirely different relationship because of the relationships that you've had before. So we would describe you as someone who's crystal clear about what you want, who has the capacity to stay in satisfaction, because in satisfaction, the universe can only deliver to you those experiences that harmonize with what you want. You can't get that other kind of relationship from where you are now unless you keep talking about that other kind of relationship. Can't be. You get it?
I totally get it.
Yeah, you do. Something more?
No.
Really good. Really good.